And welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it is great to see all of you here from all over the country and all over the world. Boy, tonight, it got dark early tonight out there, didn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I did.
Say hello to everybody, Tom.
I will.
All right, he's coming in.
Together here.
He's got a lot of buttons going on over there. He's got music playing. He's got sounds I can't even hear. Well, it is just great to see all of you here this evening. We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight with a technique that allows you to stretch your stamps. And when I say stretch, I mean really stretch, where you can start with kind of a shorter, squattier image, and you can stamp it so it looks a lot longer. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Hey, there you are. How's it going tonight over there in your part of the world?
Going great. It's getting crowded over here in this corner.
I know you should go full screen because you have a gift. We're going to do a little bit of business here. You have a gift to show everybody, right?
Yes, I have. Let's see here.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we've got a care package from Roxanne and our friend in Turks and Caicos. And just a delightful package. Thank you. If you're watching tonight, just say hi there, Roxanne. And thank you so much for the great package. She sent a whole bunch of cookies and Caribbean
coffee
treats. Yeah, and so the staff and we're all enjoying it very much. Great stuff. Takes us back quite a bit because Gina and I spent a lot of time in the Caribbean in our younger years playing music in St. Thomas. And Roxanne also sent this, speaking of music, which really takes us back.
Steel drum. I love it.
Okay, I gotta learn how to play that.
So, Tom, you're going to learn how to play. You'll serenade us on the steel drums in the future?
I'll work on it. Yeah. That brings back all those Calypso songs.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can add some of those tonight. That is awesome.
Many thanks for brightening our week with that fun stuff. So yeah, it's so
it is getting crowded back there. You've got hats all over. You've got steel drums. I can't wait to see what comes next.
I know it's
you have a lot of fans.
Calypso cowboy music coming your way.
Calypso cowboy music. Okay, I could get into that, I think. Well, all right. So there's two little things that I do want to say before I get started with tonight's technique. First of all, I want to tell you about an event that I'm going to be teaching at. I did send a newsletter out, but not everybody seems to get the newsletter. Sometimes your email settings might be set too high and it's not allowing bulk emails to come through. So you have to add me as a preferred sender. So the email that it comes from is news@ginakdesigns.com. So make sure that you allow emails from news@ginakdesigns.com. But if you miss this, I'm going to be teaching at an event in February called Staycation 2022. And this event is put on by my friend Christopher Allen and his team at brutusmonroe.com. So you can head over to Brutus Monroe and then click on their classes tab. And it's the very first class that you can register for. And it's called Staycation 2020. It's a virtual card making event. So we all craft together at home in our PJs. You're going to get a box of things in the mail, all the stuff that you need, the card kits, and I designed a very special stamp set, a special stencil and die set for this event. So I can't wait to share that with you and teach a class there. The theme of this event is called Floral Florals and Friends, and we all love flower stamps. So you're going to get, I think, 6 different classes and 6 teachers and all kinds of goodies. So if you're interested in taking an event, taking a class, a lot of classes, spending a weekend with us, head over to brutusmonroe.com, click on the class tab. It's closing soon, so I encourage you. I think it's closing Friday, so I encourage you to get over there as soon as possible. It makes a great holiday gift too. If you've been deciding something that you want for Christmas, then you can ask maybe some of your family members to get that for you. Okay, so, and one more thing, I want to send a very special happy anniversary wish out to my friends at the Ink Stand Shop. Now, if you see me doing a lot of ink blending, you know that I am in love with the ink stands from the Ink Stand Shop. So they're celebrating their first anniversary, and I'm so happy for them. Brianne and her husband, they are a small mom and pop business, and they really appreciate all of the support that you've given them this year. We are actually going to be carrying these in our store, but if you don't have, maybe your ink pads are a different shape, maybe you have the distress inks, maybe you have the palette style inks like Altenew. If you have something like that, the Ink Stand Shop also has stands to fit those types of ink pads too. And I want to show you something that I got. So let's go to the overhead. I want to show them. I got to back out though, because this is really cool here. So look at this. This is the one that holds ink cubes. Isn't that just the cutest thing? So you just take your little ink cubes and you put them down, and then you have your lid so you know the color, especially if you're doing like sometimes different turquoises. They all look the same, but you'll know from the lid. And these, of course, make ink blending super easy. You can ink blend using your ink cubes, or of course, you can get the big ones. I have the big ones. And you can use the ink pads. So I see people saying, I can't attend. What's going on? What if we can't attend all the classes? Oh, don't worry. They're going to be available on a private page. You're going to have access to the classes. You can take them at your own pace. So if you can't be there for the whole thing, definitely still sign up. It's a great box. You'll still be able to take the classes afterwards. So don't worry about not being able to attend. Okay.
Are they open to Canadians?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know if Christopher Allen is here. Let's go to my front shot so they can see me talking here. I don't know if Christopher Allen is here. Christopher, if you're here, let us know if your event is open to our Canadian friends or any of our international friends. All right, so if you want an inkstand before we get them, or you have different shaped pads, go to the inkstandshop.com, and happy anniversary, Brianne. We love your product. I'm going to use it tonight. Okay, so all that business is cleared up and you're all here ready to have some fun. So tonight, I'm going to use this stamp set for one of my cards. This one right here, this is from our new kit, and it is called Winter Whimsy. And I'm going to use this tree line. Now, okay, Christopher just said, yes, it's open to everyone. Worldwide crafting. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you for letting us know. I'm so excited to teach with you. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Winter Whimsy set. And I was looking at this tree, and I thought, okay, if I have a piece of cardstock and I have the trees going across like that, I could stamp them in a real light green, and then I could stamp a greeting across the center. But I looked at it and I thought, it's going to be so plain because it's just so tiny in the middle. And if only these trees were longer, I would be able to fill up more of my cardstock, and this card would pack more of a punch. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. This is so much fun. That's okay if you haven't been with us for a while. Sherry, it's all right. We know life gets in the way. We are just glad to have you back tonight. Okay, so I'm going to use my Misty for this, and I know most of you guys have a Misty or stamping platform that you can use. Makes this technique much easier. And what I'm going to do is, first, I've got a bunch of Masking Magic strips cut. I cut a bunch of them 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to take a few of them and I'm going to do an outline around the perimeter. So let me do that first. I'm going to do that right here so you can see that. Now, masking magic, if you can't find the spot where the cardstock splits, what I recommend is, let's zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this closer. What I recommend is just taking the end and folding it over and then taking your nail and just scratching it apart. And that's how I get the liner separated from the masking magic. And I'm going to put this, oh, we're going to have fun tonight. I'm going to put this right up against the edge of this piece of cardstock. All right, there we go. And then you can check it on the back to make sure it's not hanging over too much anywhere, and it's not. That looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to take another one. I'm going to do the same thing. I don't know where these were, but I think they were all folded up and wrinkled. So sorry for my wrinkles. Look at these wrinkles. Don't look at my wrinkles. Especially if you're watching in HD on your 4K big screen television. Holy cow, whose idea was that? 4K. I do not want to watch myself in 4K. I don't want to watch myself in 1K. I don't even know what 4K means, but it just sounds like it has a lot of pores and wrinkles. Okay. So, it's so hard to make Tom laugh. I mean, he laughs at things, but it always makes me feel good to hear him giggle in the corner. All right, here we go. I'm getting it here. Now I'm going to do these sides too, because I want to create a built-in border. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but I think it makes the card look a little bit better. All right, and we're going to do one more. Yeah, I cut like several sheets of these, so I've just got a whole drawer full of these because I use them all the time. Oh, thank you, Lucinda. Yes, I lost almost 30 pounds. Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate it. It's been a long road. And it fluctuates, goes up 2 pounds here, 3 pounds, down again.
I found them.
You found my 30 pounds? No, you look great, Tom. Tom's an avid bike rider. Okay, there we go. So that took a little longer than I thought. I'm just going to use my, speaking of my friend, where are my scissors that I love? Oh, my Christopher Allen scissors. Here they are. I'm going to use my Brutus Monroe scissors for this. Now, masking magic is not very sticky, so you don't have to worry about getting your scissors all gunked up. But I'm just going to cut this down. Normally, you don't have to. And normally, I like to use the masking magic to tape this piece of cardstock to my work surface, because then when I'm ink blending, my paper's not moving. I've got my ink stands, so my ink pads aren't moving. It's beautiful. But I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be using this in the Misty, so I'm going to have to trim those off anyway, so I might as well do it now. Okay, so the color that I'm going to use is sea glass. I'm going to use some sea glass ink here. There we go. Oh, guys, don't worry about it. I didn't intend to lose weight. I intended to get my blood sugar under control, and weight loss was a nice side effect of that, because being a diabetic, I got to keep my blood sugar under control. So, okay, so I'm going to use my blending brush. I've got my ink pad and my ink stand here, and I'm going to ink that up. And now I'm just going to create a border. I am not going to ink the whole thing up. So I'm going to come in from the side here, this angle, and I just want to create a border. Don't want to do the whole thing. Going to go all the way around though, because that's going to make that white edge really stand out, and it's going to kind of ground these images a little bit, kind of give a little interest around the outside, give it a little bit more pizzazz. I've done a card similar to this in the past where I didn't do this ink blending, and it is very elegant without the ink blending. However, I find that it's more elegant if you do this technique with gold or silver embossing if you don't have the ink blending. But if you're not doing the embossing, the ink blending seems to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And you can see, again, I just went around the perimeter. It might not even look like much right now, but you're going to see a drastic difference once I pull off that masking magic. Okay. So there we go. I blended that ink, and now I'm going to pull off the masking magic. You do want to be gentle. You can reuse these, you know. If you use them a lot with, let's say, this stamp set, you can just stick them right to the stamp set, and then they're always ready to reuse. The thing that I do recommend is not going too off color. So, for example, if these are sea glass, you know, orange might not be a great color to use, or yellow, because it might get kind of weird. So try to stay in the blue family if you're reusing them, and maybe have some for each color family. Okay, so you can see now how pretty that is. Just a little bit of ink blending almost gives it the feel of a sky. Okay. Oh, I like sea glass too, Donna. It is one of my favorites as well. But you know that about me, right? Everything behind me on my set is this color. Okay, so now we're going to cut another piece of masking magic. And I'm just going to get my little We Are Memory Keepers cutter here. I just got the new Tim Holtz one. It's coming. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so I'm going to use this Warm Winter Wishes. And I want to make sure I have enough room to stamp it. So I can almost just measure it right here. That's about 1/4 of an inch wide, that greeting, just by laying it right up against. So I'm going to make my piece of masking magic a little bit bigger than the size of this greeting. So I'm going to go, instead of 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to do a 3/8 of an inch strip. And the way I do that is I put my piece of masking magic in and I go down 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So I don't have to do math. I just have to move by little increments. And that will give me a 3/8 of an inch piece of masking magic. All right. So now I'm going to find a spot on here, like the 3-inch mark. I'm going to find the closest grid line to the 3-inch mark. Now, if you don't have a Misty Mouse pad and you don't have grid in here, then just line it up to the ruler. Okay, so we'll go about 3 inches here. And then I am going to place this piece of masking magic across the center. So this card is seriously like a 5-minute card. It is not a long card, but I want to make sure that I really explain each step. And once you see how easy it is, then you can knock these out like crazy. Now I'm going to find I actually might go up to around the 2.5-inch mark there. Now you want to find about the center. So just eyeball it, find a spot that looks like the center, and then just put that on there. And you can tape it down if you want to the side, just to be safe using the masking magic. And now I'm going to get one of my favorite greens that I don't use enough is Christmas Pine. So of course you could do this in black. It would look very striking in black or brown, but I'm going to go a little bit more like greens and blues together. Now what I want to do here, let me get this stamp. This is this stamp here. Now, if I put it right in the center, you can see the image looks very small. But what I really would like is my trees to be up near the top here, near the top of the blue. I think that would be beautiful, like tall pines. So that's where I'm going to place the stamp. Okay, I'm going to place it up here. Just like that. Okay. And that looks pretty even on both sides. So then I'm going to pick that up with the door of my Misty. Now, keeping this in place, now I'm going to use some Post-it notes. If you don't have Post-it notes, don't worry about it. You can use another piece of masking magic. If you don't want to waste your masking magic, just put a little piece of scrap cardstock right there. All you want to do is just block off this part of the card. I'm using Post-it notes for it because I don't want anything to shift while I'm teaching this. And it's just easy for me because they're sitting right here on my desk. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp the tops of the trees. So I'm going to ink up the whole stamp. I don't care, you know, that I'm not going to be using the bottom. I'm going to make it easy on myself and just ink the whole thing. I also need my tidy towel. Let me get a tidy towel out of here. I did wash them all the other day, so they're all nice and clean. Okay. I'm just going to clean. I have a few little things here. I was a little messy on my glass door here, or my acrylic door. Okay, so I know you can't see me over here, but I am inking these trees up real well. And then I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to use my Chucky tool to get pressure on here. And I'm really going to add extra pressure right along the line where the masking magic is, because I want to make sure that makes good contact. Okay, so I did get a little thing there, but you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to make that a bird. So that is a bird flying in the distance, okay? That's what I was trying to clean off, and I didn't get it all off. But that's all right. It's a bird. Maybe I'll do more of them. Maybe I'll get a little pen and do birds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to peel this off gently. It does stick to the masking magic for some reason, like really, like its life depends on it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up, right? It's a little bird. It's got a birdie shape. It's good. Oh, good. Gail thought it was a bird. Thank goodness. All right. So now I'm going to move this up like 2 squares on my Misty. I'm leaving the stamp where it is on the door, but I'm moving this up like 2 squares. And then I'm just going to eyeball it and see how this looks. Okay, that is maybe a little too high. So now I'm just going to move it down just a little bit. You play with it, just moving it up and down until it looks like it's going to be in a good spot. I think that's going to be a pretty good spot. I think so. Maybe down, maybe up just a hair more. I probably went back up to the 2, but it's okay. Okay, we're going to go right there. So now you can see how short the trees are here? Now they're longer trees, right? So now I'm going to ink up this part, but I have to protect the top. So I'm just putting these Post-it notes back on here to protect the top. Someone told you never to wash the tidy towel? Oh, I throw mine in with my with my black leggings. Unless I have pigment ink on it, then I don't do that. I throw it right in the washing machine with some Tide. Just don't put it in the dryer. That will definitely give me a stroke. Okay, so now I'm going to get this down here real well. I'm a little messy tonight, but I know you guys don't care about that, right? Okay, let's get that back in the right spot because we're going to ink a little bit more. Just as long as it's all pressed up there. Okay, just get that on there again. And again, I'm putting a lot of pressure right along the masking magic. Okay, well, I double stamped that. Oh my word, because I shifted. But you get the idea. See how tall this tree is now? Isn't that tall? Okay. We'll cover all this up with a little bit of, see, I'm going to pull this off now. Now, I have the perfect spot to stamp that greeting. So let's see if I can do that straight tonight. Hey, it's a technique. If you learn something, it's worth double stamping. It's worth the bird. Okay, so warm winter wishes. So now I am going to put the warm winter wishes stamp where I want it. There we go. And then I'm going to move it up to the top. This way, if I have to stamp it again, I don't have to worry about it moving. I might shift it this way just a little bit. Okay. Sorry if my head got in the way there. I had to see it. Okay. Now I'm going to use a black ink cube for this. And I'm going to stamp that in black right across the center. There we go. Isn't that nice? If I hadn't stamped that a second time, it would be even nicer. But that's all right. We're going to keep going with the card. Okay, so now my next step for this card is going to be to mount it on black. Now, you could have cut this out with Master Layouts 1. I pre-cut mine. I pre-cut my black cardstock incorrectly. But I pre-cut mine, and so I didn't want to waste a lot of time pulling the die cutting machine out tonight. But Master Layouts 1 is the perfect setup for this. It's the right size. I just freehanded this back piece, so it may not be as perfect, but it's good enough. It's better than horrible, right, Tom?
So many things in life
are better than horrible. What did you make the other night that you cooked something and you said it was better than horrible?
That's mostly everything I cook.
Okay, and that is going to go onto a white card base. And that really sets it off nicely, huh? So we're going to do one more after this, and it's going to be a different kind of image that I want to show you. So it's not something that you stamp in color. It's going to be a line art image. But before we do that, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's put some mermaid scale sequins on these trees. This is such a pretty sequin mix. Mermaid's tail, not scales. Tail. So for this, I'm just going to take a little bit of Connect glue, get it started over here, and I'm going to just put little dots all over these trees. I like to do the dots first, get the dots on there, and then give them a chance to set up. You know, you want that glue to kind of just start to dry so that the sequins grab on there a little bit easier. Now, if you want to go a more neutral kind of thing, you could do this same exact card, but you could do it with craft cardstock, and then you could emboss the trees in white. Just do the top half first, emboss it, and then go back. Just know where your card was on the MISTI, and then you can do the other half, and that would be really pretty too. That would take a little bit longer, but it would definitely be beautiful. I love these sequins. This is such a pretty blend. And what's neat about these sequins, they're not necessarily Christmas colors, but because they've got the blue in there and the green, when you mix it with the sea glass in the background, it just pulls it all together. I love the way they look. And this is going to be a very blingy card, but who doesn't like using sequins? I'm using the smaller sequins in this pack. See how they're coming off the Marvy Jewel Picker a little more easily because the glue had a chance to just set, and it's a little tacky now, if that makes sense. Also, you do have to clean your Marvy Jewel Picker once in a while. So sometimes you'll notice there's like a white thing on the end. Pull that off. That's actually just dried glue. And that helps the sequins release from your jewel picker more easily. I know this is a lot of sequins. I did go a little overboard, but who doesn't like bling? This kind of bling is good. I'm not going to say I don't like glitter. I do like glitter. I love the way glitter looks. And I've used glitter in my projects before, but it does get everywhere. I woke up one morning and Tom had glitter all over him. And he didn't even go in the craft room, so it must have flown off of me. I probably rolled over and it flew off of me and onto him. That was back when you were a lawyer, Tom. So you had to go to the law firm with glitter. I'm sure you got some looks that day.
That was great for my career.
You were jazzy. Okay, a couple more. I hope this part isn't too boring, me putting sequins on, but I just turn them over so that they are cup side up, or as Tom says, y'all know what he says, right? Type it in the comments if you know what he says about which direction to put the sequins. Okay, now my glue is drying over here. I waited too long. There we go. No, it wasn't. Do they know what you say, Tom? Yes, Tom calls it cupword.
Cupwords.
Cupwords.
We have a long tradition in our family of like making up our own words for things and shortening, mixing two words together, just totally defiling the English language in the process.
Yeah, I saw another word the other night and I couldn't believe that they didn't blend the words together. I'm trying to think of what it was. All right, so look at how pretty this is now. Is that glittering, Tom? Can they see that?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That's so pretty. Now, if you are not about all those sequins and you don't want to do that, you can always just take a little bit of glue and do some little kind of squiggly lines and then use loose glitter on it, or you can use a glitter pen, maybe a Sakura Stardust pen, or anything you want to add your glitter. But I had to get the glitter on there. So, okay, so that's the first card tonight. Somebody was asking what hygge time means, and hygge is a feeling of contentment. It's a Danish, Norwegian word meaning the feeling of contentment, feeling cozy, feeling, I don't know, tucked in, just peaceful and relaxed. So all of the images in here bring to mind a warm sweater, being home, just the beauty of snowfall and the trees, and of course the snowmen and all of that as well. Okay, so let's make a second card here. And this time I want to make a kind of a Thanksgiving card. I'm going to use this stamp set. This was in a kit, so a lot of you guys have this. This is called Haunts and Harvest. And I'm going to use these pumpkins, and I'm going to make these pumpkins longer, okay? Yeah, hygge. I don't know if Tom is doing it or not tonight, the hygge. Are you, Tom?
Sparingly.
Try not to overuse it. So let's, all right, your customers came in asking about that. It's interesting. I think it's like, the younger generation is really into it too, kind of that like tiny houses and just kind of that whole feeling of coziness, maybe cuddled in with a sweater and a good book. Hygge.
Hygge.
So how did I come up or upon that word or feeling for a stamp set? That's a great question. So I follow on Instagram. I gotta move this. I follow on Instagram a lot of home decor Instagram accounts. I love looking at how people decorate. And one thing that I am fascinated by is tiny houses and RV transformations, where they take these little RVs and they redo them to look like modern day houses with the stainless and the pretty white cabinets and all of that. So I followed one, and they were talking about how living in their tiny house, their little tiny RV, gave them the feeling of hygge. And of course I looked it up and I spelled it wrong. But it is spelled Hygge. Hygge. Okay, so I've got my little things going around here.
Special thanks once again to Shelley from our shipping department
Oh, yes, that's Shelley's
Huga.
voice, you know. Tom
Huga.
recorded her saying it because she said it so well, and it was really funny. We were all laughing at how well she said it.
Huga.
I think she might have some of a Norwegian. Does she have Norwegian influence in her background, Tom? Do you know?
Sounds like it.
Well, yeah. If not, she could have fooled me. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys saying to remember to like this video. That really does help our channel when you do that. So I'll go back with the sea glass again, and we'll get a nice. You don't see me? I'm here. I think you try going out and coming back in if you can't see me. Sometimes it just might be a setting on your computer or something. All right, hopefully you can see me when you come back. So again, I'm using my inkstand. Happy anniversary, Brienne. We're just going to go around the perimeter again. Okay. I have another version of that first card that doesn't have the double stamping, and I'll take a picture of that one. So if you guys, I don't know if you save pictures of cards that you like, but it'll be a better version. So I'll share that one later in our Facebook group and also here on my community tab on YouTube. I try to always share a photograph. This way you can right click on it and save it to your computer if you want to have a copy of it so that you can use it again later for reference. Yeah, and go ahead and copy my cards. I do not mind. Makes me happy, actually. Okay. Alrighty, so now we've got that little bit of an outline there. Okay. I think that cardstock was wet. It had a little wet spot, but we're going with it. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to go back to the 3-inch mark here. And this one, I'm going to do a really tiny greeting. So I don't want to do one of these big greetings. I want to do a tiny greeting from, where's the stamp set? Okay, this stamp set. This is called, why don't I have the name of this? Spring Tulips. And I'm thinking it would be really nice to do thank you for being there for me. That would be a really nice one to use for this. And that is super tiny. So these greetings, gosh, I mean, 1/4 of an inch is going to be plenty for this. So maybe I'll just use one of these 1/4 of an inch strips that I already have. Should I go even smaller? I don't know. Let me think about it here for a second. 1/4 of an inch. And let's look at that greeting on there and see if that looks like a good size. I'm going to take the greeting off. Does that look like a good space for that greeting to you? Yeah, I think so. That'll be good. Okay. So the name of the stamp set with the pumpkins is called Haunts and Harvest. It was in a kit last fall. So before you consider it, make sure you check your stash that you don't already have it if you've been buying our kits for a while. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go right across the center somewhere. Looks pretty good. And then I will take it to like about the 3-inch mark again, just to have it in place. Okay. Now this one is a little more tricky because the pumpkin is round. So I want to make sure I get some of the top of the pumpkin like that. And I want to try to catch it before it starts curving in, or the pumpkin's going to be like an hourglass, which isn't bad because some gourds are like that. They're kind of weird and shapely. Shapely fruit. All right, so we're going to stamp that first with black. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to use my black ink pad for this. You want a better than horrible stamp? Yeah, we got to work on that. Tom, that should be part of your stamp set when you design your stamps. Your man set that you talked about.
Boy, that's long time in the making, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh no, did you see what I did? I forgot to cover this. Oh my word. Okay. All right. It's okay. We got time. Don't leave. I promise. It'll be worth it. And you know, I saw it when I was closing the lid and I didn't follow through. So we'll do this real quick. I can be a quick ink blender when I'm not explaining what I'm doing. It's only 7:40. We got plenty of time.
Throw the juggler out there.
Throw the what?
The juggler.
Oh, like in the circus? What are you talking about? I have to do my edging. I know I don't have to, but I have to because I love it so much. It makes all the difference to me, and I've got all this stuff already pre-cut, so why not do it, right? Right. Oh, I make tons of mistakes. Sharon, I hauled out of my stamp room, of this room today, this studio, a trash bag. I could barely carry it of all of my mistakes. Seriously, I make lots of mistakes. And that's the beauty of live. Oh, hey, I got to tell you guys something. Guess who's going to be on the show? I'm almost 100% sure he's coming on the show on Wednesday. Simon Hurley. So Simon Hurley has this really cool stuff called stamping foam. And we just started carrying the stamping foam in our store. And I did a little post. And then he reached out to me and said, hey, you know how you asked me to do a live before? And I said, yes. And he said, we should do that. I said, yeah, let's do it Wednesday. And he was all over that. So I'm so thrilled. I love him. He's so much fun. He's got great videos with my daughter, Rena, who's not making videos right now because she is really busy at her salon. In fact, Tom tried to get in this week to get a haircut, and she didn't have any time. She was so busy. All right, now I'm going to do this, but guys, do not let me forget, again, to put the Post-it notes up. Do not let me forget. Somebody say it when I'm getting ready. So Simon Hurley said that he would join us on our next live, and that is Wednesday at noon. So we're going to play with his stamping foam, and we're going to see what we can press into this foam and make some really fun backgrounds and cards. If you haven't seen the stamping foam yet, don't worry. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's this, expensive. It is a cheap little product that just is so much fun. So you can watch it first and see if it's interesting to you. And if it is, I've already done one video on it where I used it with stencils and I used it with embossing folder. I used it with a Longaberger basket, or some basket, not a Longaberger basket. One of my baskets behind me in my studio, I used it on that. You can use it on so many things. And Simon, he's got a tons of ideas. So I thought it'd be really fun to have him on the show, and he could show everybody other things that you can do with this stuff. So that went pretty fast. And that gave me an opportunity to tell you about Simon coming on the show. So there we go. Okay. Now I am not going to mess up again, she said. Okay, I'm going to clean this stamp. Now I think I remember where I had this, but first I've got to get my strip on here. Post-it notes. Thank you, Christine. Post-it notes. Yes, everybody's yelling at me. Post-it notes. Thank you, everybody. I think I was at the 3-inch mark when I did this. No. Yeah. Okay. Post-it notes. Right there. Here they are. I will not forget. So we're going to go with that 1/4 inch strip across the center again. So glad you guys are here. You have no idea. What would I do without you? I'd be here all by myself without my Post-it notes. This is really thin, but I think it's going to work. Every once in a while I cut one too thin, but all right. Okay, now we're back to where we were before Gina really messed up. Does that look straight? I'm lifting this up so I can see it. Straight enough. Okay, and I think that that is a good spot to put that in the same spot there. Should we look at it again just to be sure, you know, measure, what do they say? Measure twice, stamp once. I think that'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to ink this. Let me put the Post-it notes on. Okay, you all feel better now? Because I do. Post-it notes are on. Now I'm going to ink up the top of this pumpkin. Oh, I had it inked up so nice too. You know how when you look at a stamp and the ink is on there so perfectly and you're ready to stamp? It just feels good. There we go. Now I'm going to use my Chucky tool, and once again, I'm going to make sure I get good contact, but I really want to press a little harder right along the edge of the masking magic. Looking good. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the Post-it notes off. It's got a little ASMR feel to it, doesn't it, when you hear the Post-it notes coming off? Okay, and now I'm going to raise this up either 1 square or 1.5 squares. I think 2 squares is going to be too much because this is not that big of an image. All right. Let's use this to try to pry this off. There we go. It's always good to have a tweezer in your stamp room because you never know when something's going to be hard to peel off or you're going to have a chin hair. It's important. You just never know, those emergency chin hairs. No, I'm going to go back down to the 1. Oh, really? Okay.
Judy has to know.
Yes.
Do you like stamping better than being a musician?
Do I like stamping better than being a musician? Boy, that... That's an interesting question because there are things about being a musician. I'm going up a little bit more. There are things about being a musician that I really love and loved and still love because Tom and I have a lot of fun playing music still. Okay, I'm going to stamp this part now. Post-it notes. Oh my God. But I could never give up stamping. Stamping it's just different than anything because, I don't know, it gives me so much peace and comfort. And I just met so many really cool people, all of you guys. And you guys are very different than the people that I met when I was playing music. I mean, you guys are like family. Okay. All right, so let's see how this looks. My gourds might be a little curvy. That's all right. We'll see how it looks. Looks weird right now, but it's going to look great. Especially when we get the greeting in there. Okay. All right, that's kind of cool, huh? All right, we're going to put this greeting in here. Okay, I just put it upside down, guys. Put it right side up. Let me get the greeting in here. And then we can color it. I like this one. And they don't have to be like absolutely perfect. Because once you get it all colored and you get it on the card, it's going to look great. Okay, so I'm going to move this down to the bottom here, just so that I can see that it's straight, and I'm going to move it up just a hair. I'm telling you, if I stamp this upside down, I am just going to walk away. And I'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we go. Black onyx. Oh, I forgot you can read it once you get it inked up. Go. Thank you for being there for me. This is like the kind of Thanksgiving cards I like to send. The ones that just say, you know, thank you for being my friend, for being there for me, things like that, as opposed to just plain old happy Thanksgiving. Because then you can write a little better heartfelt message in there. All right, let's color this thing and then we'll turn it into a quick card. So I'm going to color it with some orange here. I've got an orange, crisp orange. I say orange because I'm from Philadelphia. That's why I say orange. Because my dad was from Brooklyn, New York. I say orange. Orange. Let's color orange in here. But just color down to where the white starts. Go. And I'm using Prismacolor pencils and Gamsol. Yeah, I didn't think there was anything wrong with the way I said it until I moved out to the Midwest and they all laughed at me. Do I have any East Coasters here? You guys say it like I do? I know you do. All right. So we're going to make these pumpkins orange and turquoise. I can't say it that way. I'm sorry. You'll have to just go along with me on this one with my Philly accent. Tom, your music is so nice.
Thank you.
So Tom and I still sing together. You guys know that, right? We don't necessarily perform anywhere right now, but we still occasionally will go down in our basement and set up our stuff and we'll have a little jam session. So I do get music in my life. It's just I don't perform anymore. Oh, good. I see all my Jersey girls and all my New York people and people saying there's nothing wrong with your accent. See, I love you guys. All right, I'm just using a little bit of Gamsol and I'm being careful not to blend past that white line. And then we'll add a little turquoise and we'll pop that onto a card base. And then we're going to give these cards away, Tom. I've got 2 of them tonight. My wonky little pumpkins and my trees. Yeah, so Gamsol, if you're new to me, you know that my method, my preferred method of coloring is colored pencils and Gamsol. Gamsol is an artist grade odorless mineral spirits. It really helps you look like you're a better artist helps me look like I'm a better artist than I am. It's very forgiving and it's very easy to control. So even though I think watercolor and Copic markers are absolutely beautiful, I tend to reach for the Gamsol and the colored pencils more just because I have a little bit more control with them. You can see it just blends the color out to nothingness. I like this. You know what these pumpkins remind me of? There was a time, maybe you guys did this too, I don't know. But there was a time where I was really into sewing and I used to quilt a lot. And I made these fabric pumpkins using like real fun quilt pattern, not pattern paper. See where my head is? Pattern fabric. and they had like different patterns and textures and stuff, and they were really cute. That's what this reminds me of. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little turquoise just in these areas here. Just bring that color in. Obviously, this is not a true colored pumpkin, but that's the beauty of crafting, is you can do whatever you want. You could take a lot longer to color these if you're into the tiny kind of coloring. I happen to have blue on the end here. What luck! I was going to get a new blending stump, and then I looked down and saw it. That's great. But I like doing the the color combinations that you wouldn't think to do. This one, we need a little bit of orange in here. We need to blend that side out a bit. I like this color combination together. I don't know if it's because it's just a pretty color combination, or it kind of reminds me of the Miami Dolphins. And that makes me think of the ocean. Did you guys watch football? Football was on yesterday. What a day in the world of football. That was fun and interesting. I have a problem eating popcorn whenever football is on. So that's football Sundays. I always seem to wake up 2 pounds heavier from the popcorn. So how do you like this color combination? Isn't it fun? It's just different. It's weird. We'll do this one like this. Get a little more turquoise in this one. I'm going to put just a little bit of orange right in there. Okay. All right, just blend that out. Oh, it's nice. So, Tom, we've got a lot of new people here, I think, tonight. And we just want to say welcome to anybody new who is joining us this evening. We're so glad you're here with us. Okay. So there. Oh, we're watching college football. College football's fun. It feels like there's a lot. I know there's not. I'm going to say this. It's going to sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And it's true. I really don't. But I feel like college football doesn't feel as stressful to me as watching the NFL. I don't know why. I guess if you're a big college fan or you have a kid that's playing, it's stressful. But all right, we'll put that on some black.
Linda wants to know if our girls are musical too.
Well, Rena was an amazing drummer when she was a kid. Nobody could keep a beat like her. She was like a metronome. She was so good. And Alicia's very musical. She's played guitar. She's played piano. She built her own hurdy-gurdy. And if you don't know what a hurdy-gurdy is, that has quite a sound.
I'm still not sure what a hurdy-gurdy is.
She built one at our kitchen counter, I remember. Not that long ago, too. And then what else does she play? She played bass. She played trombone. She sings. She sings really well, too. But Rena, the way she played drums, holy cow. All right, so there's that card. I feel like I want to add a few little sequins in there. So I'm going to add some disco ball ones on this one. And then we will be done. We've got to give these cards away. So if you're new and you would like an opportunity to win one of these cards, all you have to do is leave a comment. And I'm going to put one down here, up here. Leave a comment, and Tom will randomly select from all the comments. And remember, we have people watching. We have about 2,800 people here because we have people watching on YouTube, we have people watching on Facebook, and we have people watching on Twitch. So
Mary asked, "What's a hernia gurney?"
Hernia Gurney. So
Spell
checker, man, that'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Hurdy-gurdy is this weird sounding. It's almost like, well, it looks kind of like a ukulele.
It's a little fancy box with strings and a crank on it.
Yeah, and you crank it and it makes sound. So if you Google hurdy-gurdy and then like look for maybe a video just so that you could see the sound, it is a crazy sound. It sounds almost like, it almost sounds like a cross between bagpipes, an old organ, and somebody in a lot of pain. That's what I would describe the hurdy-gurdy. All right. So just a little bit of light detail on this one. And this one is full of detail. So those are the 2 cards for tonight. And we stretched those images out. I think it would work with the houses too, because you could definitely make these houses kind of look like little San Francisco skinny townhomes, like the real tall ones. That would be kind of fun to do. And definitely, you probably have trees in your collection. You probably have other types of images that would work. Silhouette flowers that have long stems. Stretch them out. Make them as long as a slimline or a mini slimline. You'll have a lot of fun with that. Okay, so Tom, let's give these cards away. So let's start with the first card that I made tonight, the Winter Wishes. This is the other one, I think, where I don't have the double stamping. I also want to show you, just before we do that, I made one without the borders, and I used disco ball sequins, and that's an elegant look, right? It's just very simple and elegant. But this one gives it the look of an extra layer in there because I used that little sea glass blending. So, all right, so let's give this card away, Tom. Who wins the tree card?
All right, the tree card goes to Donna Kingston.
Woo!
Donna Kingston.
Donna, hey, congratulations, Donna. That's awesome. Okay, the bird is on this one right here. This is the one that I messed up. And I said that I had made another one, so I'm going to give away the good one that doesn't have the little bird. But it doesn't look like a little bird. You're right. Okay, so now Donna wins this one. Who gets to have the pumpkins?
All right, and the pumpkin
the quilted
card
pumpkins
goes to Pam Sheehan. Pam Sheehan.
Pam, congratulations. Woohoo! All right, so Donna and Pam, all you have to do is send your name and address and whether you won the pumpkin card or the tree card to info@GinaKDesigns.com. They will get that information to me and I will get these cards out to you. Boy, this was a fun night tonight. I hope you guys had fun going through all my mistakes with me and hanging out with me. Tom and I love Monday nights. It's our favorite night of the week, getting to spend time with you. So like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday at noon Central Time, and we're going to have a special guest. Simon Hurley is going to be with us, and we're going to be playing with his stamping foam. And I have an idea that I want to try with the new kit. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Did you explain what the winners should do?
I did.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I sure did. That's okay. You got a lot of buttons over there.
Checked out for a minute there. Okay, good.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.